Big news today, Notre Dame landing Wake Forest quarterback Sam Hartman, a sixth-year player and the ACC's all-time leading touchdown passer, bringing in J.D. Pickell on three, talking head, if I can call you that,
Yeah,
J.D.
yeah.
So we're going to get a national perspective here. So JD, as you broke down in your own video that folks can find on the On3 YouTube page, which we'll put in the comments of this video, not a big surprise here, but just your overall thoughts on this get for the Irish.
I think the first thought is, oh my gosh, you got a quarterback. Like you have a guy that you can actually trust consistently, or I'll take a step back, that has proven consistently he can push the ball vertically. And Notre Dame, you and I talked on here before the season got started, like we know who they were going to be. They were always going to be that team that was super physical up front, would just use those big human beings to assert their will on the opposition. And they won 8 games, which is not a bad thing. I mean, it felt like the sky was falling earlier, and then they have enough talent, and Marcus Freeman's good enough coach to where they win 8 games, win 9 games plus the bowl. And you did that throwing for 200 yards a game. Like now you sprinkle in a guy who's thrown 110 career touchdown passes. And so, one, I think in 2023, Notre Dame fans' expectations will be higher. They should be higher, having one of the best guys in the transfer portal in Sam Hartman. And then 2, if this goes successfully, you can package this up and sell it to future recruits. You can sell it to guys in the transfer portal. Like I think the second portal wave post-spring, you're going to see a lot of guys at the skill position, especially that want to come and catch passes from Sam Hartman or want to block for Sam Hartman. So I think it totally revamps the outlook for 2023 and the biggest commitment in my mind of the Marcus Freeman era thus far.
Yeah, and it's interesting because Notre Dame wins 8 games, get to 9, going into year 2. It's like, all right, there's no more first-year excuse. This is Freeman's 3rd year in the program because,
Yeah.
a couple years ago, he's the defensive coordinator. So how much does this pickup for Notre Dame change the outlook for next season? It's a pretty tough schedule. Ohio State, of course, they got USC every year, so it's definitely not going to be easy.
Yeah, everybody likes to throw in there, well, they don't play in a conference championship, and it's like, well, look at what they do during the regular season. I promise you they're playing a tough enough schedule to where if they get to the end of that thing undefeated, deserve a shot at the college football playoff. But no, I think it totally revamps the entire nature of the program because we knew they could run the football, but like we said, now you have a team that, hey, if we have to score 40, I mean, we'll see what they are after spring practice, and we'll see what they are after the first couple of games. But you feel a lot better about the kind of styles you can play with Sam Hartman at quarterback. So, I mean, I think expectations are going to be cranked up. Like you said, there's a certain standard in South Bend. There's a certain standard that comes with playing under touchdown Jesus and having the Golden Dome. But I mean, I think that it's a huge impact piece for them for 2023. And like I said, going forward, it could send ripple effects across Marcus Freeman's time in South Bend.
Yeah, now Notre Dame's quarterback room is really interesting. I know a lot of folks, and I saw it in my Twitter mentions today, are pretty much dismissing the fact that there could be a quarterback competition. Like, hey, you bring in, the ACC's all-time leader touchdown passes that he's going to start. But Tyler Buchner, I mean, he was QB1 for the Ohio State game. He came back from injury, was QB1 for the Gator Bowl. Essentially, made Drew Pine enter the portal. It's just interesting, like where that kind of leaves him. So I'm curious, JD, your thoughts on Buchner, and what the quarterback position might mean moving forward. Plus, like Buchner had a pretty darn good at times Gator Bowl, but also some really bad moments in the Gator Bowl.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I think he showed that he flashed, right? Like, I think he validated a lot of the reason why he was named the starter against Ohio State. And the thing that I'm curious is what's the locker room's reception of a guy like Sam Hartman? Because he's going there to play for 1 year. Like, it's not a long-term play. In a lot of people's mind, I don't think it's unreasonable to say this is a business decision for Sam Hartman. And so there's a lot of other guys in that locker room where they've rode with Tyler Buchner. Like, he was the guy that won that bowl game for him. He's the guy that was their guy going into the year. And so that could take some time. Like, I'll say this. I don't think Sam Hartman came there to sit, but I also don't think it's going to just be a easy, ready-made, okay, now everybody's behind Sam Hartman. Like, I think it's very much going to be a process. So I think it'll be a battle, at least in the spring. Like, I think they are going to make Sam Hartman earn it. And evidently he feels comfortable enough to go into South Bend and feel like he can win that job. But no, I mean, I think it'll definitely be some sort of resistance from a guy like Tyler Buchner. And if not from him, from the locker room, because I mean, it's a herd mentality in there for sure. So I'm fascinated by it. Should be a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah, JD. I mean, in your off-season videos at On3, I know you're going to talk about quarterback battles. This is going to be one that's interesting because it's not like Buckner is a freshman anymore. He's going into his junior season now. His freshman year, they kind of had the Buckner package where he'd come in and just be a little wildcat quarterback and maybe throw the ball a little bit. I mean, you can't ask him to do that as a junior. Like, he wants to play, so it's going to be. I'm fascinated by it. Even if you're going to assume that Hartman's the guy, what that means for Buckner, and does he want to wait around or what? I don't know, but that's going to be fascinating to even look down the roster with Steve Angeli and what that means for him. Again, very interested. And then just wanted to talk to you about the Gator Bowl in general. It was a nice win for Notre Dame over a ranked SEC game, and I believe that today it was the most viewed non-New Year's Six playoff game.
Yeah,
that's pretty good.
Dude, it was awesome. I mean, it was must-see TV, even without Mayer, even without Foskey. Like, it was a big-time matchup. And credit Notre Dame, because they were going up against a team that it was kind of maybe lost in a lot of people's memory, but they had just beat 2 top 10 ranked teams coming into that game. Like, there wasn't a team that was hotter in the country, for my money at least, than South Carolina. And then on top of that, there's the whole Sam Hartman rumor swirling. Will he transfer? And Tyler Buckner, just like, here's all that chatter trots out there. And like you said, wasn't a perfect game. He hadn't played football in however many months, but still made enough plays, ended up making the play to win that football game. And so I was just super impressed by the way that Tyler Buckner rallied and responded with all the external noise around him. So I think it validated a lot of what Notre Dame was last year, because you and I both know people were ready to just sell them down the river after that Marshall loss. And I think you and I were probably in the same camp of saying, like, okay, let's calm down for like a second and a half here and let this thing bake. Like, not a good look to lose to Marshall, but there's so much talent on this team, and it's a first-year head coach. Like, I promise you, this isn't who they are. So I'm excited to see, to have that and juxtapose that with the South Carolina win. I'm very, very curious to see what the offseason looks like, both in terms of this next signing period and in terms of what they do in the transfer portal now with adding Sam Hartman. And I mean, they're going to be a program that I think is up for most intriguing when it comes to time to play ball next fall.
All right, I'm going to put you on the spot with this one. JD, you take this wherever you want. The overall state of college football right now with NIL transfer portal. I mean, again, so I cover Notre Dame, right? People watching this video are most likely hyper-focused on Notre Dame, but you cover all of college football. You're following all these moves in the offseason. Would you say the state of college football is fragile right now? Like, what's kind of your pulse right now?
Yeah, man, I think the block is hot. Like, I think all of this is just so new. Like, NIL, very new. Transfer portal, we've had transfer mobility, but you always had to, like, sit out a year, and now it's more of a thing where everyone's looking around like, really? I can transfer and then nobody's going to, slap me on the wrist. I don't have to have this extra waiver, whatever. So I think right now is where we are going to see the most volume. Now, the reality is all these players that are getting just a boatload of NIL, especially at the high school level, there's going to be kids that, obviously these programs and these collectives miss on. So I think that's going to be like, oh, maybe we don't give this 18-year-old X amount of millions of dollars to come be our quarterback. Okay, so maybe we dial that back. And then I also think we're going to see a lot of these teams that just lean too heavily on NIL, and that's all they have to bring to the table. We're going to see, I think, over time, like, if they're not developing, kids aren't going to want to go play there. If they're not winning, it's not a great experience either. Maybe that goes hand in hand with development. So I think right now it's just all so fresh, and it does feel like the Wild West. But I think over time we're kind of going to see a little bit more of a regression to the mean. And what really matters with winning games and developing players for the next level is, I think, going to ultimately be what wins out in the long term. So my feel on it, we'll see, but that's how I feel.
I hope so, JD, because college football right now is in such a weird state. But again, going back to the topic of this video, Sam Hartman, former Wake Forest quarterback, committing to Notre Dame. Appreciate the insight there from JD Pickell. Folks, please do hit the thumbs up on this video. Of course, subscribe to our YouTube channel for more content. Head to blueandgold.com for all of the latest in Fighting Irish football. Appreciate you folks for watching, and as always, we'll catch you next time.